Okay, welcome back, everybody. This is Sisters-in-Law of Attraction. I'm Sam,
And I'm Christine.
and we're so thrilled you're back with us. As we said last time, we are on our own journeys of exploring the power of the human mind and our own thoughts, and of course, all the fun law of attraction and mindfulness and all that great stuff, and building the life that we are meant to lead. Today's episode, we want to dive into this idea of, just eat the whole damn pie of life. For those that only choose the crumbs of life may stand in judgment of those who dare to live big and dare to eat the entire pie. So in this episode today, we're going to talk about how you should just dare to live big and eat the entire pie. So we have experienced this on some level where we have unshackled ourselves from the things that hold us back, right? And I think all of us know that that number one thing is fear. So I want to set this conversation up, but let's start with this, Christine. Has anyone ever asked you if you could do anything and you knew you could not fail? What would that be?
I mean, I've heard that question over and over. And I think my answer now is I'd start a podcast.
Clearly, right? And because this kind of scares the shit out of us.
You're right. I mean, I definitely love a comfort zone. Don't get me wrong, but it stopped serving me.
Right. Yeah. So getting comfortable with the uncomfortable, that's obviously where the growth comes in. I actually want to share a story. This happened fairly recently. I went to the eye doctor and, get a little checkup, and I got some new glasses, and actually I'm wearing them right now. I thought they were pretty darn cute because they got crystals on the side, and I just was feeling myself. And of course, my 20-year-old son said I look like SpongeBob's mom, and that's clearly not what the look I was going for. But anyhow, the woman that was helping me at the eye doctor, a single mom, and we just got to talking, and she was getting ready to get on actually the first time she in her entire life, and she was probably, I don't know, probably my age, in 50s, had never been on a plane before, and she was telling me how she was a little scared and how expensive it was, and so. I said, well, you got to live big. You got to do it. You're going to be just fine. And she went on to share that, she's like, money's always been a problem for me. And, I had a dream that I won the lottery. And she said, but what's so fascinating is that I didn't actually dream like the picture of winning the lottery. I dreamt the feeling of winning the lottery.
Yeah.
Right. And she said, I had this feeling of complete, I was unburdened by,
Peace.
yes, yeah, unburdened by the heaviness of financial responsibility and having enough money to pay the bills, et cetera, et cetera. And I looked at her and I said, you know what? You can have that right now. And she just looked at me and she said, oh my God, that just gave me the chills. And I said, yeah. I said, you got to get the feels, right?
Yep.
You got to have it. And what do we call that, Christine, right? It's
High
just
vibing. You get vibey.
You got to get vibey.
Get
Got to get high vibey with the universe because the universe does not want to, it can't serve up great things to you if you're not in alignment, and sending those high vibes because low vibey stuff, wah, wah.
Yep.
No good things go down. Wah, wah. So anyhow, so then the conversation, she was, she was starting to get high vibey, and she's like, oh, okay. And she goes, well, actually, I have my esthetician's license, and, I've maybe done a couple of, facials this year, but, I watched this documentary, and this young woman was an entrepreneur, and she brought her dog to work every day, and she goes, that's my vision, just to, have my dog and, do my facials and my whatevers, and I just looked at her, right? And I said, the only thing standing in your way is taking action.
Yeah.
Right?
That's the only thing standing in our way is us. Every time.
Exactly. So I like to refer to, it's the pie of success, right? It's, you've got to have the feels. You got to be high vibey. You got to be vibing with that universe. Then you got to have the vision. You got to know what you want, and you got to look and see it, right? And a lot of it in like the law of attraction, right, Christine? It's, see it, believe it, and it shall be yours, right?
Yep.
I think so many of us don't know what we want.
Oh, 100%. Myself included.
Right. Because who are we to dream big, to dare big, right? Who are we to do that? Yeah. Who right? And so then it's like, well, who are why not
Why
you?
why not us? Exactly. Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah. And so this woman had she had the feels. She had already felt what it was like to have, not the burden of, this financial burden of freedom.
Which is
Financial freedom is what I
arguably
like to call it.
getting that feeling before having the actual thing is arguably the harder part.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then, of course, the vision. Again, so many people know what they don't want, and they don't focus on drilling down and really getting clear about what they do want.
Yep.
And it
Well,
doesn't
because
have to
that's
be,
scary, because what happens if you fail, right?
yep,
But
exactly.
I love the again, I think I have quoted him more than anyone so far, but Eddie Pinero says, look around, everything that you see has been built by people who failed over and over again and just didn't give up.
Right. Exactly. And then that last piece of the pie, the third piece, right? So we've got the feels, we're high vibing. We've got the act or the vision, excuse me. We've identified where we want. We have a clear picture. And again, it doesn't have to be so specific. It could just be like, I want to live a life where I can like hang out on a boat, right? I mean, it's a vision of your future life, however it gets you there. So that's that sort of that very specific vision in pictures, because we all respond to those pictures. Like, what do I want? Okay, I want to be happy.
Right.
I want to be financially
Healthy.
secure,
Right.
right? Then what does my life look like if I have those things?
Well, and I think part of the universe and trusting that it will have our back and having that faith is knowing, okay, the end game that I want is this, and I trust that the universe will put me on the right path to get to that. If I want to have a home on acreage where I can sit on my porch and hang out and listen to the birds and also have a beach house, that's what I want. I don't know how I will get that, but I trust that I will be put on the path where I can do the
Exactly.
work that will lead me there.
Yeah, and that actually brings me to, and you already, mentioned it, and that's Gabby Bernstein's, the universe has your back, right? And you have to give up, that sense of control and trust. Trust that the universe wants good things. God wants good things for you. Whatever you align yourself with wants good things for you. The only thing that's standing in the way of you getting those good things is yourself, right? So you got to get out of your own way. So we come to the final piece of the pie, and that is action. And that is where dreams go to die. Because why? We don't act.
Yep.
I mean, Christine, you and I could have talked about putting together this podcast every time we got together over a glass of wine. Like, oh my God, wouldn't it be so fun if
That
we
would
did a
be
podcast?
such a good time. Oh my
Right?
gosh, we should do that and then kick it down the road over and over.
Exactly. And why would we kick it down the road? Well, who are we? We've
Yep.
never done this before, right? Who are we? But I think, timing, right? I mean, we've known each other for 36 years, for God's sakes,
Yeah,
and
right.
we've always had a connection
Yeah.
in even different parts of our lives. Matter of
Absolutely.
fact, this is kind of a fun aside, and I want to share that. Christine obviously was 5 years old, and I was 15 when I was dating, and I came into her life because I was dating her brother. And I remember sitting in the baseball stands reading you books, as we're at Paul's, baseball games, and we just, grew up together.
Yeah,
I remember
absolutely.
you helping move our things into our very first apartment when Paul and I got married. And, I mean, it's just all the things. And you watched my kids when they were babies. By the way, I feel like I did not I did not, pay you back in that regard and taking care of your little babies.
Oh my God, stop it. You were a little busy raising teenagers at that point.
Well, that's true. Okay, teenage, that's a whole nother story.
And your 20-year-old son will still let me burrito him, so I'm happy.
Love it. But I did want to share just really quick, and then I'll get back to the whole point, that my husband and I actually, we crashed your honeymoon.
Yeah.
Right. And you and your husband Greg were so gracious. I mean, we had such a fabulous time. The point is we've always had this connection, and to be doing this together is so great. But it took action. It took being, you gotta be a badass, in the words of Jen Sincero. She's the author of You Are a Badass. If you're not familiar with the book, I know you've seen it. It's in bookstores and Targets, the yellow book. And matter of fact, in that book, Jen says, feed fear a suck it sandwich.
Yep.
Literally, like, what is the worst that's going to happen? You're going to fail.
It doesn't succeed. Okay. You're
You
still
pivot.
alive.
Yep. You pivot. You learn from it. You live big. But you're also going to get this thing called critics.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get the people, like, when you say, hey, we're doing this podcast and we're super excited and we're going to build this community of, like-minded people because we just want to be high vibey and build the life we're meant to live.
So it's toxic positivity? Is that what you're doing?
Right?
Is it toxic positivity?
No.
Right. And so those are your critics are those people who chose to eat the crumbs of life. And how dare you eat the entire pie? They live small and they want you to live small. So you living big actually, shakes them.
It's intimidating.
Yeah. And so I mean, we're pleasers. We've learned, to make sure that, we're paying attention to the cues of others. And so we pay attention to that. But if you let that stop you, right? I mean, that's just another way of stopping the action, right?
Exactly.
And again, it's fear-based. I won't be accepted, right? So I also wanted to share, by the way, Christine and I both have You Are a Badass planners too. Thank you, Jen Sincero. I mean, I just love her. She's just super fun.
She is the best.
I'm in her badass circle on Instagram, by the way. So if you guys come across her, she reminds
knowledge.
Yes. I feel like she is Eckhart Tolle's like fun cousin.
Yes, who curses. She's like the the fun aunt who's a little crazy but so smart.
Yes, yeah. Because she just takes all of that sort of, the ego stuff and kind of, things that we don't really think about and could be, complex concepts, and puts it, really, really simple. So anyhow, love her. But I wanted to share a quote from a book called The Mole, the Boy, the Fox, and the Horse by Charlie Mackesy. It's an incredibly simple but impactful fable. And in it, the mole says, most of the old moles I know wish they had listened less to their fears and more to their dreams. And that's exactly what we're talking about. So anyhow, I think, Christine, in your journey, because, you're quote unquote sort of newish, to this.
Yes.
How do you deal with, those thoughts of doubt and thoughts of fear, and maybe getting out of that comfort zone? And I know we're going to get into this later in other episodes, but maybe kind of just to a high level of how does fear keep you in the lane of comfort and out of the life of living big?
Sure. I mean, I think for a long time, it's not realizing my worth in terms of career. I would say that's mostly living in fear. I think it was how I grew up. It was how I was raised. I mean, I don't know if it was how I was raised, but it's certainly how I grew up thinking. And just realizing that being scared of failing time is going to go by anyway. Time is passing no matter what we're doing.
Right.
So why sit here and be scared of not getting the thing that I want, so I'm just not going to do anything? Whereas it's like, no, try all the things and something will stick, and
Yeah.
it's okay to fail.
Right.
It's okay to not get it right. It's okay to and I still do this, is anytime I have a thought or a kind of find myself going back into the thought pattern of, oh no, maybe I shouldn't do that, or whatever it is, it's like, nah, wait, stop, hold on. The universe has my back, and I'll go and I will look at one of my resources, or I will listen to a podcast that I have saved, or just as a reminder to not live in fear, to go and just do the things. It's okay to be a beginner at things.
Right.
To realize that that everybody is going to be an imposter when they're starting something new, because you've never done it before.
Right.
And so fear had a really good way of making me think that I was comfortable and I'm just going to have what I have and protect it and like ward off all the bad stuff that's going to happen, but like at least I have this.
Right.
And now it's like, no, I can have more. I am worth getting more. Our family is worth having more, and not necessarily materialistically, but comfort.
Yeah.
We deserve to feel comfortable. We deserve to be able to look ahead and plan for a future in a way that isn't bogged down by what ifs. What if this goes wrong? What if we fail? What if it doesn't work out? What if we could do that all day long and it doesn't serve us?
Don't you find being a mom, particularly a mom of two young women, you're kind of empowered, but also you get like, I got called out on my bullshit all the time, right? I was so good at like, life is 10% of it happens to you, and 90% how you react to it. You know, how you respond in this moment matters. You know, get comfortable with being uncomfortable, right? All the things I'm telling my kids to live big, live big, live big. And I looked at myself like, shit, Sam, like, what are you doing? Right.
Yep.
And that's when I found You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero.
Yeah.
And because of that book, I wrote a book.
Yeah,
I wrote
right?
Rebound with Carl Johnson, a former homeless man, and that was an incredible experience. You know, I ran for political office, didn't win, but that's okay.
You learned.
You know, it's all good. I did 21,000 people voted for me, so you know I did something right. But you better believe I was uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And so, but I grew so much and became so empowered. It's like if I can put myself out there like that and fail very publicly. Because by the way, if you put your name on a ballot and you fail, it's like a very kind of public failure.
A little people, kind of people know about it.
Kind of like everyone knows you lost. Okay, so fun. So anyhow, so I think that I got to the point of saying, you know what, Sam, you got to live your own bullshit.
Yeah.
You know,
yes, our kids have a funny way of reflecting who we really are.
Right? Oh, they'll call you out all day long.
Mom, what would the universe say about that? Like, oh, okay, you're right. Let me check myself. And I do.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyhow, I think the whole takeaway here, folks, is live big. Because what do you have to lose? Living small gets you nowhere, right? You're like Christine said, are you going to sit around and wait for the next mistake or the next, big problem or big negative event? No, you're going to go out there and you're going to live. So I don't know, Christine, should we give some homework? Should we ask our listeners to kind of think about, how about the question that we started the podcast with? If, what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? So sit with that and identify just 2 actions that you could take toward that goal, right?
Small baby step actions, because the small all culminates to big things, and it's not fast.
Right.
It's not a fast process, but it's a lot faster than doing nothing.
Exactly. Exactly. And you don't have to have the roadmap, right?
No.
You don't have to have everything figured out, but you gotta do something. So,
Yep.
anyhow, spend some time with that. We look forward to welcome you back next time. Next time, we are going to dig a little deeper in this whole thing called fear.
Yes.
So, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
I'm Sam,
And I'm Christine.
and this is Sisters in Law of Attraction. We'll see you next time.
Bye.